This show is presented by Baker's Sports.
On today's show, we're going to look at the highlights from the Creekside versus Bartram in boys basketball, sponsored by Baker's Sports. We'll be speaking with Bowles School's boys cross country, sponsored by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our athlete of the week is India Watts from Oakleaf High School. We'll also check out the highlights from the First Coast Games opening ceremony. We'll sit down with members of the Ponte Vedra golf team. And lastly, we'll look at the legacy of football and track star Curtis Gray. We'll be right back. It's time for ITG Next. I'm Haley Rash.
And I'm Nathan Dean. We'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors, the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, Baker Sports, and the First Coast YMCA.
Jacksonville is home to many athletic legends, but where are they now?
And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 most recognized athletes from Jacksonville, courtesy of the Florida Times Union.
Starting off, we're going to be learning more about a Ribault High School basketball player who went on to LSU and the WNBA. First is Erica White. After helping the Trojans reach 3 state championships, Erica went on to play college basketball at Louisiana State University. While there, she averaged 6.3 points a game and helped the Tigers reach the Final Four each year. After her college career was over, she was drafted 17th overall in the WNBA draft. Erica White was recently named head coach at Richland College in Dallas and previously was an assistant coach at the University of North Florida.
Joined the Ospreys, so it's exciting to see a Jacksonville native come back to Jacksonville to share her athletic abilities with others.
Especially awesome for us because we are both former UNF Ospreys.
And talking about another Osprey, coming at number 4 is Sid Robertson, who was an Orange Park native and still holds the record for UNF's most strikeouts. Orange Park High School's Sid Robertson was the first ever left-handed pitcher from the University of North Florida to make it to the majors with the Brewers in 1995. He was named the Brewers Minor League Pitcher of the Year twice in his career. Today, he is a senior director in sales at Florida Blue and lives at Atlantic Beach.
How awesome for this person who is a Jacksonville native, went on to UNF, and continued his athletic career.
And it's crazy to see that to this day, Sid Robertson still holds the record for most strikeouts at UNF. So it's awesome to see that.
Let's see who can break his record. Coming up next, we're going to be learning about an athlete who became very well known in 1999 at only the age of 15. Coming up next is Jessica Howard. This Jacksonville native became a U.S. national champion at 15, then continued to clinch that very title 2 years after. She achieved a top 10 world ranking, was an alternate in the 2000 Olympics, and obtained 2 bronze medals at the 2001 Goodwill Games. Howard was one of the first gymnasts to speak out against USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. She is currently serving as a public advocate against the abuse of children, sits on the USA Gymnastics Board, and is a dance instructor in Manhattan.
And this is a very important topic, and it's awesome to see a Jacksonville native be one of the main voices to speak out for this. So.
Yes, definitely a courageous deed, and we are so lucky to have her from the First Coast.
And coming at number 2 is somebody who played a major role for the 2014 Kansas City Royals when they won the World Series, and that is Billy Butler. After playing at Wolfson High School, Billy was a first-round draft pick for the Kansas City Royals in 2004. He had a successful minor league career, making 2 All-Star games and being named MVP, and soon after went on to play for the Kansas City Royals. He stayed with the Royals for 8 seasons. Butler is currently living in Idaho Falls, where he teaches baseball to children and is very active with the Kansas City Alumni Association.
That is super awesome that he is spreading his sports knowledge to the youth in his current city.
Billy Butler helped bring the first championship for the Kansas City Royals, so congratulations to Billy.
Last but not least, we're going to be learning about Lee High School's football star, Leroy Butler. Leroy Butler played cornerback at Florida State University and was drafted in the 2nd round of the NFL draft by Green Bay. He is a 4-time All-Pro safety and a member of the NFL's All-Decade team in the 90s. One of his career highlights including sacking quarterback Drew Bledsoe in the Packers Super Bowl win against the Patriots. Since 2010, he has hosted a weekday sports talk show on CBS, WSSP, and a Packers television show on Spectrum Sports.
Former Seminole and a former Jacksonville native, so definitely a huge fan of Leroy Butler.
Yes, his heart definitely has to have some roots here in Florida.
And our photo of the week is somebody who didn't make this list, but we felt that he had to be at least mentioned in our show, and that is another Jacksonville native, Brian Dawkins, former safety for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Denver Broncos, who made it all the way to the NFL Hall of Fame and played years at Raines High School.
Our video of the week is on the viral bottle cap challenge. An Oklahoma football player, Casey Keller, was able to knock a cap off with just a football.
And now we're going to take a look at some highlights from Creekside versus Bartram Trail boys basketball, brought to you by Baker Sports.
Well, we talk about getting better every day, and these guys have bought into that growth mindset, and so we get better every practice, every game. And so I told them we control what we control, attitude and effort, and just getting better and being great teammates. So we're doing great so far, just got to keep doing that every day.
As a leader of Athletic Leadership Council, it means to me always showing up to games and being as a unit sort of. I know if I ever had a problem, I could go to my coaches, my students, and ask them, and they would help me. And if anything bad does happen to us, I know they would do stuff like this to help out.
We got a lot of great guys, great players. I think our senior, Tim Plish, who's been a 4-year varsity player. He's our heart and soul. And then another senior, Harry Bowker, who's a football player and a basketball player, is also the hustle guy. So those guys are our glue guys that get us going.
Today we are collecting toys and money for the Superhero for Mason Foundation, and all the toys and monetary donations go to children at hospitals who need to get, happy in a way.
It's just it's a pretty tragic story, and just about a little 4-year-old that unfortunately lost his life. And I think for these guys, the message is to be thankful for what you get and be thankful for what you have in your life. And when you're feeling maybe not great, just to be thankful for all the great things that you have and put it in perspective. So that was my message to these guys today, is just be thankful and think about the positives you have in your life, and remember and honor this young man that was a pretty cool little 4-year-old. Sounds like that helped other people out, so it's pretty cool.
This show is presented by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is home to many amazing doctors here on the First Coast. They work in tandem with a lot of local high schools, and one of the schools they work closely with is the Bulls School of Jacksonville. The ITG Next team was able to sit down with the Bulls cross-country team, learn more about their upcoming season, and who has inspired them the most during their sporting career.
I'm Will Brady. I do cross-country and I go to the Bulls School.
I'm Cole Rutkowski. I go to the Bulls School and I run cross-country.
My name is Colin Donoski, and I go to Bowles High School, and I run cross country.
My most memorable moment of my cross country career would probably be going to Nike Cross Nationals, and it's just a big achievement of mine.
My most memorable moment is got to be when we qualified for the national meet, NXN, when we went up to North Carolina. And we were hoping and expecting to make it, but it kind of just set it in when we heard our name called out for that second position to get it.
My most memorable moment in the sport has probably been 2 years ago when our team won the state championship. It was really fun to see how everyone's work paid off finally, because it was our first time winning in over 30 years. So it was just a really big moment for everyone.
My coaches and my Coach Rivera and Coach Stam have probably helped me the most through my career because they're just so amazing and helpful in every way, like mental and physical training.
Who's helped me the most in my sports career is got to be our head coach, Coach Rivera. He's kind of set the foundation for our team. He's built us up from almost nothing. He's only been here for about maybe 5 years. So I've been with him my entire running career. And he's just set in the fact that this is a team sport. We're trying to build up our team to make everybody as good as we can.
The person who's helped me most in my sports career has definitely been my coaches. Just the endless support and work they give everyone on the team, writing the workouts late at night and then always showing up to practice during the school every single day during the summer, waking up early. It's a big commitment from the players and the coaches, so I just have endless gratitude towards them for all their hard work.
I live in the game by giving it my all in everything I can. So if there's a hard workout, it's supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be difficult, and I will do my best to make it that way.
Living in the game for me it's waking up every morning for practice. We have 5:45 some days and 6:30s the other. It's focusing on keeping a water bottle with me at all times. It's making the right food decisions, not eating too much, but making sure I'm getting as many calories as I can with the best food that I can. Staying away from sodas and candy for the most part. Yeah.
I live in the game by, even outside of practice, every single decision I make revolves around running, whether it's what I eat, how much I sleep, how much I'm hydrating during the day. I don't look at my phone 30 minutes before bed because I know that I have to get a good night's sleep. So it's all just, it's a lot more than just the hour you give at practice. Cross country is really a 24-hour sport.
My name is Will and I'm living in the game.
My name is Cole and I'm living in the game.
My name is Colin Donoski and I'm living in the game.
My name is India Watts. I go to Oak Leaf High School and I do competitive cheerleading. My most memorable moment would have to be me being able to go to nationals and compete with my team. Is a really fun experience. We spent the whole weekend in Orlando. We went to the parks and then we got to compete against a lot of really good teams. After my sports career, I see myself going to college for sports medicine or exercise science to become an athletic trainer or a physical therapist. I just really like sports and I like helping people, and the trainers, I get hurt a lot, so the trainers are people that are really important to me, so I want to be able to give back to other people. I would say my mom and my coaches, but my mom because I can't remember a game that she's never been to. She's always been there to get me where I need to be. She's always been very supportive. I think one of my coaches has always said it's when you have a bad day, it's always going to get better. You always have to strive to be a better athlete than you have the day before, the week before, the month before. I would say my drive and work ethic, like I said before, you have to strive to be a better athlete than you have the day before. You have to actually want to be where you are. If I could play any other sport, I would do track. I've done track for at least 4 years and I've really been, it's a sport that I really am interested in. I do a lot better. I like competing with all the really talented athletes and stuff. My name is India Watts and I'm living in the game.
Anyone can investigate, but the local station cares enough to make Jacksonville a better place to live.
Have you reported it? It looks like you work for the city. Have you reported it?
Investigative stories that make a difference.
Do you believe they're helping veterans?
When others give up, we get answers.
Do you think that money would have been better spent on those families?
The I-Team on News 4 Jax, uncovering, exposing, getting results.
This show is presented by First Coast YMCA.
The First Coast YMCA recently held their First Coast Games tournament, and we at ITG Next are already looking forward to next year. So in the meantime, let's check out the past year's First Coast Games opening ceremony.
Margie Petralia, City of Jacksonville Neighborhoods Department.
Cody Ely with Black Knight. I'm Kendall McCrae, and I'm with Baptist Health.
My name's Eddie. I'm with Florida Blue.
It's opening ceremonies for the First Coast Games, so this is Black Knight's second year back into it, and excited to get back into the games.
Opening ceremonies, I would say, is one of my favorites. The reason why is because you got all the teams out here all at once. You have a big team of Baptists. Everyone that's from everywhere comes out, and so it's really awesome to have that joint presence. It just really gets you engaged and pumped up.
So it's just a great way for the entire city, different businesses to get together and participate in sports or cheerlead like me. It's a good way to get your co-workers out and see them in a different light, cheer each other on.
Just getting to see everybody, outside of the office and playing sports together, kind of that cohesiveness and the camaraderie was really good to see everyone kind of come together and play sports.
We know we're gonna win.
Yes, we're going to win this year. City of Jacksonville.
So we'll see a little bit tougher competition, but I think we got a good shot.
Yes, absolutely. Every year, that's our goal. We're gonna take it, and we're going after Florida Blue. And I'm saying that into the camera.
We hear that every year. So it is nothing new. I can't wait to play them and see what happens. But overall, I mean, as long as everybody has fun, it's cool.
Through our player profile and going out to many games here in Northeast Florida, we've got to meet a lot of great athletes here in Jackson.
And recently we were able to go out to TPC Saltgrass and we interviewed some boys golf members on the Ponte Vedra High School team.
Let's check out those interviews now.
Stuart Sladen, Ponte Vedra High School, golf.
My name is Justin Ortiguera from Ponte Vedra High School and I play golf.
My most memorable moment was winning the high school state championship back-to-back years, as well as individually my 10th grade year.
My most memorable moment from my golfing career is winning back-to-back state championships as a team.
After my sports career is over, I see myself living in Florida with my family, cheering on the Jaguars.
I just see myself having a job that enables me to play golf a lot.
My grandpa and my dad have helped me a lot in my sports career because they just taught me the game and also a lot of advice, not only in golf but also in life.
The people that have helped me the most in my career so far are my parents for giving me the opportunity to play every day and taking me to my tournaments and providing for me.
My biggest sports inspiration is Brooks Koepka. He works really hard at golf. He's really good and great sportsmanship.
My sports inspiration is Derek Jeter because of his great sportsmanship and he always gave 100% on the field.
I live in the game by never quitting.
I live in the game because a lot of the stuff that I learned from golf I can apply to everyday life, like going through adversity and resilience.
My name is Stuart Sladen and I'm living in the game.
My name is Justin Ortiguera and I'm living in the game.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Sharks.
On April 13th, track and football star Curtis Gray was shot and killed in Palm Coast.
And we got a chance to sit down with his friends, his family, to talk about Curtis's athletic career and his lasting impact on the Palm Coast community.
In honor of Curtis's life, we are going to be doing a package about him, his family, and his legacy here on the show.
Let's check out part 1.
I'm Carmen Alexis Gray, and I'm Curtis Israel Gray's mom.
Candace House, I am Curtis's auntie.
Curtis started talking full sentences when he was 15 months old. And the first thing he ever said to me, with his little finger crooked, he said, "Don't you ever do that again." I couldn't believe it. And it's never stopped. He was just a very unusually bright child.
When he came out, his head was so big and his smile was so, that smile you guys talk about when he was a little baby, his smile was just like that. The grin that all of you guys are seeing now is the same grin. And then he finally grew in his body. You know, little toddlers, their head is always bigger. He would smile. He would walk around like this and he would smile so big and his cheeks would be so big and you just want to kiss him and 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 kiss him. That's how he was when he was little. And then as he grew, he continued to smile. You never saw him not smiling. He was very lovable.
He had an appendectomy at the age of 12. We were told it would be a 15-minute procedure. He would be right out. It took 3 hours. He had a growth on his appendix that literally went up underneath his intestine, and there was a large mass. So it was extensive surgery, and they actually cut an artery. I was with my sister at the time, waiting in the waiting room. We thought, okay, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours, nothing. The doctor came out and said, if you know how to pray, pray, because we don't have the ability to correct what's wrong. I said, what's the worst case scenario? They said, we'll have to helivac him to Jacksonville. We're not equipped to fix this. We were in the waiting room, you know, we just began to pray, and it was really surreal. I asked the doctor, what should I expect? And he said that all his organs would begin to shut down. And so that was one of several challenges Curtis had growing up. And I became very protective of him after that incident. Right after that, he was, Mom, I really want to play football. And I didn't want him to sustain any injuries to that area. So I held him back maybe 2 years. So he was a late bloomer coming into football. And of course, the first team he played with was Flagler Wolfpack. They went all the way to state championship. They didn't win. They had a 0 and I think they never lost a game, and they got all the way up to state championship. And that night, he called me from the bus crying his heart out. And I told him, I said, in life you need to understand what it means to have defeat and learn from it. And I said, because you won't win all the time. And I told him, I said, you know, get your crying out, experience what that feels like, and understand that there'll be moments of defeat, but you'll have to find a way to overcome that. And he did. And that was his first ever experience with sports.
I would watch the film that my husband would take online, and Curtis is sitting there grinning. He'd be on the sideline talking to somebody, skinning and grinning with his teammates. And he was always dancing on the sideline too. That's what I do remember. He was dancing and laughing and patting people on the back, and you know, and I'm like, look at him. And then when he did take off and he'd run and he'd play football, he's running track or he's running football, playing football, I saw 3 football games and 2 track meets of his. And the one thing I remember about him, like, there's that grin.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. A special thank you to our sponsors, the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the First Coast YMCA, and Baker Sports.
Be sure to check out our What's Next segment on our YouTube channel, where we checked out a little bit of the future for Bartram Trail football.
And you can follow us on our social media. Our apparel main page is at ITG Next. And for all of our Florida viewers, we have a new Instagram page. It is itgnext.florida.
And if you have an inspiring story, please feel free to reach out to us through our social media platforms or through our website.
And you can also check out our apparel collection. It is at itgnext.com. I'm Haley Rash.
And I'm Nathan Dean. Thank you for watching this week's edition of ITG Next.